James Gardner March is Jack Steele Parker Professor Emeritus at Stanford University and the Stanford Graduate School of Education. Best known for his research on organizations, his A behavioral theory of the firm and organizational decision-making. Early life and education. March received his BA from the University of Wisconsin at Madison in 1945 in political science. He received his MA in 1950 and Ph.D. in 1953 from Yale University, both in political science. James March is an honorary doctor at numerous universities: Copenhagen Business School, 1978. Swedish School of Economics, 1979. University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, 1980. University of Bergen, 1980. Uppsala University, 1987. Helsinki School of Economics, 1991. Dublin City University, 1994. Göteborg University, 1998. University of Poitiers, 2001. University of Trento, 200. University of Southern Denmark, 2003. Budapest University of Economics, 2003. York University, 2007. Hautes Études Commerciales, 2007. Ramon Lal University, 2007. Lapinranta University of Technology, 2008. Stockholm School of Economics, 2009. Career. From 1953 to 1964, he has served on the faculties of the Carnegie Institute of Technology as a senior research fellow and assistant professor, and later professor of industrial administration and psychology. From 1964 to 1970, March, University of California, Irvine as professor of psychology and sociology, and was dean of the School of Social Sciences from 1964 to 1969. In 1970, March moved to Stanford University, where he remains as Professor Emeritus. During his time at Stanford, he has held several titles including Professor of Political Science and Sociology, David Jacks Professor of Higher Education, Professor of Management, Fred H. Merrill Professor of Management, Jack Steele Parker Professor of International Management. He has also served as a senior fellow at Hoover Institution and the director of the Scandinavian Consortium for Organizational Research. He has been elected to the National Academy of Science, the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, and the National Academy of Education, and has been a member of the National Science Board. He is a member of the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences and the Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters. He has received numerous teaching awards such as the Walter J. Gores Award for Excellence in Teaching in 1995 from Stanford University. He interacts and communicates in many different forms as books, articles, interactive seminars, films and poetry. Contributions. March is highly respected for his broad theoretical perspective which combined theories from psychology and other behavioral sciences. As a core member of the Carnegie School, he collaborated with the cognitive psychologist Herbert A. Simon on several works on organization theory. March is also known for his seminal work on the behavioral perspective on the theory of the firm along with Richard Syett. In 1972, March worked together with Johan Olsson and Michael D. Cohen on the systemic anarchic perspective of organizational decision-making known as the garbage can model. The scope of his academic work is broad, but focused on understanding how decisions happen in individuals, groups, organizations, companies and society. He explores factors that influences decision-making, such as risk orientation, Leadership and the ambiguity of the present and the past, politics and vested interests by stakeholders, the challenges of giving and receiving advice, the challenges of organizational and individual learning, and the challenges of balancing exploration and exploitation in organizations. Personal. James March is the father of 4 children and is a grandfather. Bibliography. Selected articles. Leverton, Richard E. March, James G. A set of necessary, sufficient, and independent conditions for proportional representation. Econometrica, 25 to 361-362. March, James G. A Behavioral Theory of Decision-Making. Personnel Administration, 21 8-10. Science. Richard M. Dill, William R. March, James G. The Role of Expectations in Business Decision-Making. Administrative Science Quarterly, 3 to 309-340. March, James G. The Business Firm is a Political Coalition. Journal of Politics, 24 to 662-678. DO 10.1017 per second 0022381600016169. James G. March. The Power of Power, pp. 39 to 70 in David Easton, ed. Varieties of Political Theory. Englewood Cliffs, N.J., Prentice Hall, 1966. James G. March. The Technology of Foolishness, Civilokonomon, 1844-12. Cohen, Michael D. March, James G. Olson, Johann P. A Garbage Can Model of Organizational Choice. Administrative Science Quarterly, 17 1-25. DO 10.2307 2,392,088. March, James G. Olson, Johann P. The Uncertainty of the Past, Organizational Learning Under Ambiguity. European Journal of Political Research, 3 to 147-171. DOI 10.1111 J 1475-6765.1975 TB00521X. March, James G. Bounded Rationality, Ambiguity, and the Engineering of Choice. Bell Journal of Economics, 9 to 587-608. DO 10.2307 3,003,600. March, James G. Ambiguity and the Engineering of Choice. International Studies of Management and Organizations. 9 to 9-39. March, James C. March, James G. Performance Sampling and Weibull Distributions. Administrative Science Quarterly, 26 to 90-92. DO 10.2307 2,392,602. Martha S. Feldman and James G. March. Information in Organizations as Signal and Symbol. Administrative Science Quarterly, 26 171-186. James G. March. Decisions in Organizations and Theories of Choice, pp. 205-244 in Andrew van der Ven and William Joyce eds. Perspectives on Organization Design and Behavior. New York, New York. Wiley Inter Science, 1981. March, James G. Footnotes to Organizational Change. Administrative Science Quarterly, 26 to 563-577. DO 10.2307 2,392,340. Leventhal, Daniel. March, James G. A Model of Adaptive Organizational Search. Journal of Economic Behavior and Organization, 2 to 307-333. DOI 10.101601672681900123. James G. March in Shapira, Behavioral Decision Theory and Organizational Decision Theory, pp. 92-115 in Gerardo Ungson and Daniel Brownstein, eds. Decision-Making, an Interdisciplinary Inquiry. Boston, Massachusetts, Kent Publishing Company, 1982. Harrison, J. Richard March, James G. Decision-Making and Post-Decision Surprises. Administrative Science Quarterly, 29-26-42. DOI 10.2307 2,393,078. James G. March and Guja 7. Gossip, Information, and Decision-Making, pp. 95-107 in Lee S. Proul and J. Patrick Cressine, eds. Advances in Information Processing in Organizations, Volume I. Greenwich, C.T. Jai Press, 1984. March, James G. Olson, Johann P. The New Institutionalism, Organizational Factors in Political Life. American Political Science Review, 78-734-749. DOI 10.2307 1,961,840. Harriet, Scott R. Leventhal, Daniel March, James G. Learning from Experience in Organizations. American Economic Review, 75-298-302. James R. Glenn, Jr. and James G. March, Presidential Time Allocation 1970-1984, pp. 263-266 in Michael D. Cohen and James G. March, Leadership and Ambiguity, 2nd ed. Cambridge, Massachusetts, Harvard Business School Press, 1986. Eaton by Vicky March, James G. Syetron, Harold. Implementation and Ambiguity. Scandinavian Journal of Management Studies, 2-197-212. DOI 10.1016-0281-75279-0016-2. James G. March, Theories of Making Choice and Making Decisions, pp. 305-325 in Rolf Wolf, ed. Organizing Industrial Development, Visible Guiding Hands, Berlin, De Gruyter, 1986. James G. March, Ambiguity and Accounting, The Elusive Link Between Information and Decision-Making, Accounting, Organizations, and Society, 12 153-168. Also pp. 31-49 in Barry E. Cushing, ed. Accounting and Culture, American Accounting Association, 1987. March, James G. Shapira, Zur. Managerial Perspectives on Risk and Risk-Taking. Management Science, 33-1404-1418. DOI 10.1287 MNSC 33.11.1404. Levitt, Barbara. March, James G. Organizational Learning, Annual Review of Sociology, 14-319-340. DOI 10.1146 ANREV, SOC 14.1.319. James G. March and Guja 7, Behavioral Perspectives on Theories of the Firm, pp. 369-402 in W. Fred van Raij, Gary M. van Veldhoven and Carl Eric Warnrud, eds. Handbook of Economic Psychology. Dordrecht, Netherlands, Kluwer Academic Publishers, 1988. James G. March and Lee S. Spruill, Technology, Management, and Competitive Advantage, pp. 144–173 in Paul S. Goodman, Lee S. Spruill and Associates, Technology and Organizations. San Francisco, Jossey Base, 1990. March, James G. Spruill, Lee S. Tamers, Mitchell. Learning from Samples of One or Fewer. Organization Science, 2–1–13. DOI 10.1287 ORSC 2.1.1. March, James G. Exploration and Exploitation in Organizational Learning. Organization Science, 2–71–87. DOI 10.1287 ORSC 2.1.71. March, James G. Organizational Consultants and Organizational Research. Journal of Applied Communication Research, 1920–31. DOI 10.108009889109365290. March, James G. How Decisions Happen in Organizations. Human-Computer Interaction, 6–95–117. DOI 10.1207 per seconds 15,327,051 HCIO 602_1. March, James G. Simon, Herbert A. Organizations Revisited, Industrial and Corporate Change, 2–299–316. DOI 10.1093 ICC 2.1.299. March, James G. Rationality, Foolishness, and Adaptive Intelligence. Strategic Management Journal, 27–201–214. DOI 10.1002 SMJ 515. James G. March and Johann P. Olson, The Logic of Appropriateness, pp. 689–708 in Michael Moran, Martin Rain, and Robert E. Gooden. The Oxford Handbook of Public Policy, Oxford, Oxford University Press, 2006. James G. March and Johann P. Olson, Elaborating the New Institutionalism, pp. 3–20 in R. A. W. Rhodes, S. Binder and B. Rockman. The Oxford Handbook of Political Institutions, Oxford, Oxford University Press, 2006. March, James G. The Study of Organizations and Organizing Since 1945. Organization Studies, 28–9–19. DOI 10.1177/017084060707527. Augia, Me, March, James G. The Pursuit of Relevance in Management Education, California Management Review, 49–129–146. DOI 10.2307 41,166,398. March, James G. Scholarship, Scholarly Institutions, and Scholarly Communities. Organization Science, 18–537–542. DOI 10.1287 ORSC 1070.0269. March, James G. Ibsen, Ideals, and the Subordination of Lies. Organization Studies, 28–1277–1285. DOI 10.1177/01708406070792223. Michael D. Cohen, James G. March, and Johann P. Olson, The Garbage Can Model, International Encyclopedia of Organization Studies, Sage, forthcoming 2008. Augia, Me, March, James G. Realism and Comprehension in Economics, a footnote to an exchange between Oliver E. Williamson and Herbert A. Simon, Journal of Economic Behavior and Organization, 66-95-105, DOI, 10.1016, J. Jebo, 2007.05.003, Bibliography. Books. March has written many books and some with different co-authors. An Introduction to the Theory and Measurement of Influence. James G. March and Herbert A. Simon. Organizations. New York, Wiley, 1958. Second ed. Oxford, Blackwell Publishers, 1993. Translated into Arabic, Chinese, Dutch, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Polish, Portuguese, and Spanish. Voted the 7th most influential management book of the 20th century in a poll of the Fellows of the Academy of Management. Richard M. Syatt and James G. March. A Behavioral Theory of the Firm. Englewood Cliffs, N.J., Prentice Hall, 1963. Second ed. Oxford, Blackwell Publishers, 1992. Translated into Chinese, French, German, Italian, and Japanese. James G. March, ed. Handbook of Organizations. Chicago, Illinois, Rand McNally, 1965. Heinz Eulau and James G. March, eds. Political Science. Englewood Cliffs, N.J., Prentice Hall, 1969. Bernard R. Gelbaum and James G. March, Mathematics for the Social and Behavioral Sciences, Probability, Calculus and Statistics. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, W.B. Saunders Co., 1969. Michael D. Cohen and James G. March, Leadership and Ambiguity, The American College President. New York, New York, McGraw-Hill, 1974. Second ed. Cambridge, Massachusetts, Harvard Business School Press, 1986. Charles L. Avon, James G. March, An Introduction to Models in the Social Sciences. New York, Harper & Row, 1975. Second ed. Lanham, M.D., University Press of America, 1993. Translated into Dutch, Japanese, and Spanish. ISBN 0819183814. James G. March and Johann P. Olsen, Ambiguity and Choice in Organizations. Bergen, Norway, Universitetsforlaget, 1976. Translated into Japanese. ISBN 82-00019608. James G. March, Autonomy as a Factor in Group Organization, A Study in Politics, New York, Arno Press, 1980. ISBN 0-40512980-7. James G. March and Roger Weisinger Bailon, eds. Ambiguity and Command, Organizational Perspectives on Military Decision-Making. Cambridge, Massachusetts, Ballinger, 1986. James G. March, Decisions and Organizations, Oxford, Basil Blackwell, 1988. ISBN 0-631-16856-7. Translated into French, German, Italian, and Japanese. James G. March and Johann P. Olsen, Rediscovering Institutions, The Organizational Basis of Politics. New York, Free Press, Macmillan, 1989. Translated into Italian and Spanish. ISBN 002-920115-2. James G. March, A Primer on Decision-Making, How Decisions Happen. New York, New York, The Free Press, 1994. Translated into Chinese, Greek, and Italian. ISBN 002-920035-0. James G. March, Vornachtogverandering, Ledels in Verdenberische Afaklerhet. Articles selected and translated by Christian Kreiner and Marianne Risberg. Copenhagen, Samfunds Literature, 1995. James G. March and Johann P. Olson, Democratic Governance. New York, New York. The Free Press, 1995. ISBN 0028740548. Translated into Italian. James G. March, The Pursuit of Organizational Intelligence. Oxford. Blackwell Publishers, 1999. ISBN 0631211020. James G. March, Martin Schultz, and Zhu Guangzhou, The Dynamics of Rules. Change in Written Organizational Codes. Stanford, CA, Stanford University Press, 2000. ISBN 080473996X. Translated into Chinese and Italian. Miaojian and James G. March, eds. Economics of Change, Choice, and Organization. Essays in Memory of Richard M. Syatt, Cheltenham, UK. Edward Elgar Publishing, Limited, 2002. James G. March and Thierry Weil, Le Leadership dans les Organisations. Paris. Les Presses de l'École des Mines, 2003. Translated into English is On Leadership. See below. Miaojian and James G. March, eds. Models of a Man. Essays in Memory of Herbert A. Simon, Cambridge, Massachusetts. MIT Press, 2004. James G. March, Valg, Vainog Vision, Perspectiva par Aspiration Ogad articles selected and translated by Christian Kreiner and Miaojian, Copenhagen, Samfundslitteratur, 2005. James G. March, Chevesetti Annuales Ircutes Dontations Attal, articles selected and translated by students at the Laszlo Rajk College, Budapest, Alina Chiardo, 2005. James G. March and Thierry Weil, On Leadership. Oxford, UK, Blackwell Publishers, 2005. ISBN 1-4051-32477-7. Translated into Spanish, Korean, Italian, Chinese. James G. March, Explorations in Organizations. Stanford, CA, Stanford University Press, 2008. James G. March, The Ambiguities of Experience. Ithaca, NY, Cornell University Press, forthcoming. Bibliography. Films, Passion and Discipline, Don Quixote's Lessons for Leadership. A film conceived and written by James G. March, produced and directed by Stephen C. Schechter. Schechter Films, 2003. Heroes and History, The Lessons for Leadership from Tolstoy's War and Peace. A film conceived and written by James G. March, produced and directed by Stephen C. Schechter. Schechter Films, 2008. Bibliography. Poetry. James G. March, Academic Notes. London, Poets and Painters Press, 1974. James G. March, Aged Wisconsin. London, Poets and Painters Press, 1977. James G. March, Pleasures of the Process. London, Poets and Painters Press, 1980. James G. March, Slow Learner. London, Poets and Painters Press, 1985. James G. March, Minor Memos. London, Poets and Painters Press, 1990. James G. March, Late Harvest. Palo Alto, California, Bond Press, 2000. James G. March, Footprints. Palo Alto, California, Bond Press, 2005. James G. March, Quiet Corners. Palo Alto, California, Bond Press, 2008.